Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Ophelia here, and thank you guys so very much for joining me today. I thought I would film an updated what's in my travel bag. If you guys remember a while back, I had one that I used all the time that was open. And then my daughter gifted me this one. She just didn't want it anymore. I like the fact that it is a zippered, it's more of like a backpack. And I apologize in advance for the trashiness of my desk. I was going to get it all cleaned off and pretty to film, but then I thought I would just be stalling and never get this done. So I thought it would be great today if I just kind of took you all through exactly what's in this bag. If you've got any questions about any of the supplies that I use, then just leave them in the comments below, and let's go ahead and get into what's inside my new travel bag. So it's got a zippered pouch as well as a little zippered pouch, and gosh, as I'm looking through my viewfinder, my desk is so trashed, and I apologize for that. But inside of this little front pouch, I just keep some washi tapes on hand, as well as a tape runner, a couple of pencil sharpeners, and what else is in here? Oh, another pencil sharpener and a trusty glue stick. I like the fact that this one is completely zipper enclosed. That way, if I am flying and you have to put your things in that overhead bin, I didn't like the other one that didn't have a zipper where things would just kind of fall all over the place. So I have my pencil pouch inside of here, and what I will do is just take everything out of it so I can just move things out of the way. But my pencil pouch, depending on where I'm going, I usually will have these two Derwent roll-ups with products in them, and a water cup, some extra napkins, some watercolors, and again, it just depends on where I'm going as to which one I'll take. And everything's gonna fall here. Some travel brushes, and these are just littles. And then my journal, a ruler, and a pair of scissors, which, let's keep our fingers crossed that they're just scissors to chop out with, and hopefully they won't get taken. And then just a pouch with some ephemera. So and that's pretty much it. I try to keep it pretty light so that it's not too heavy as I'm going through airports, or where I just don't want to make it where it's just too cumbersome to take out whenever I'm going someplace. So inside of this little pouch that my friend made for me a long time ago, I just usually have bits and pieces of ephemera and things that I can just chop up and glue down in my sketchbook. Some napkins to just use with watercolor. One of those collapsible cups, and I believe this is by Faber-Castell, but it just kind of is a water cup like so, that I can just collapse to keep in, especially if I'm like in my hotel room. Those are kind of fun to have instead of back and forth to the sink. This is a Derwent, and it's an Inktense travel tin that I've enjoyed using it. I've just honestly not used it enough to, other than swatching it, to like really say or give honest feedback on it, just because I've not had it for very long. But I do love the fact that there's a little brush inside of here. I also received this from Francis, this golden core little travel watercolor tin that I like to use. And this one's a Schmincke, and I think it was maybe a limited edition one at the time, I'm not really sure. But it's got these 12 colors here, and I've been meaning to add some more colors just to kind of round it out. So depending on, I usually just try to swap out my smaller travel tins just so that I can get used to kind of playing with them. So inside of these roll-ups by Derwent, I have just a variety of pencils and such like that, just to kind of add some extra color and such. If like I said, it just kind of depends on where I'm going, or sometimes I will leave these at home if I don't want my bag to get too heavy. But inside of these, it literally is just a selection of the Derwent pencils, like some of the Color. There's some metallics, some Inktense, graphite tint, onyx, more graphite tint, some Color Soft. That's what this guy is. And these guys, a blender and a burnisher, some extra leads to go into my pencil here. So just a variety of things. If I'm going to do a training or such like that, I will take these two guys with me, or pack them in my suitcase. It just kind of depends on how heavy my bag gets. And then, here, let's do this first. Just my sketchbook, and I try to keep it small so that my bag doesn't get so weighed down with my bigger sketchbook. And this one's just a Stillman and Birn. It's fairly new. I had such good intentions I started this back in August of 2018 when I went over to, and let's see where I can even find it. I went over to the United Kingdom to train with Derwent, and here's also where I swatched the Derwent, here it is, the Derwent watercolor palette, and that's honestly as far as I've gotten with it. So I need to do a little bit better job at playing around with that one. But so this is the little sketchbook that I take along with me, and like I said, it's truly it's been unused so far, so there's a lot more that I want to do in that. As far as those little, and of course the little ruler that I just take along, I like to use this sometimes not necessarily to like make straight lines, but to rip the pieces of collage paper that I'm going to use. And I believe this one was in one of those monthly sketch boxes. Art Snacks is where I got this. That's where it came from. And these are, I got this little roll up years and years ago from Art of the Carolinas for, what are these? It was in the Senility booth. And it's just little tiny travel brushes. It looks like Raphael's. And I've just, of course, added a few more to it, like these travel watercolor brushes. And I think this one's a black velvet, a silver. And it's just, I've not even used this one yet, but I just like to keep these in there just for just doing some smaller things in the hotel room and such like that. Nothing really fancy, just a set of their travel brushes that I like to keep in this little roll-up bag. And then I have my, I think this is a Delphonics utility pouch. This one's my small one. I just like that it carries so many things and I can put so much in here. So on this outside pocket, I keep a little clip for my journal to hold the pages flat. I've got a couple of erasers in here with some extra leads that I like to use. And I feel as though, let's get some of this out of the way. I'm going to clear some of this off. Hold please. Okay, let's see if this is a little bit better where we can actually focus on what I have and not holding it in my hand. But like I said, just an eraser in this front pocket with some extra leads, And then when we open it up, this is kind of where the madness begins, because I honestly don't, I'm always afraid to leave home and leave something. So I literally just have a variety of pens. I like some, what do you call these, like liners, black liners, in a variety of nib sizes. This one's a 0.4, just for some waterproof ink, more erasers, some fountain pens, and some water brushes. And then I usually have, I like, this one's honestly one of my favorite pencils. I like the 2mm thick lead, and so Prismacolor turquoise. I've had this thing for such a long time, and it just takes a beating, and I just keep refilling it with the 2mm lead. And this one's one of my favorite pencils. And then I also just have a variety of other pencils and markers and such like that are in here, like the Derwent Pro Color. I really like these. These are the Koh-i-Noor, and they're the tritone ones. So I just kind of keep the ones that have some really interesting colors just for effect when I'm drawing. And I don't even know what this is called. This one is a Cretacolor. And I just recently found out that these are water soluble, and it's got like a bunch of different colors. So I like to have those as well. So just, gosh, more, this one's more of like a refillable ballpoint pen, and I don't even remember where I got it, but it looks like the name is Herbin, it seems. But it's got some purple ink in it, and I think I purchased over in that container thing is where I keep like extra refills for my fountain pens and such like that. But I also think that when I got this, I got some extra purple refills for it. And then just a variety of water brushes and such like that. If I'm sitting in the airport in a layover, I can just kind of pull that out instead of like go get a cup of water and such like that. More pencils and what are these? I like these little Tombow Zero erasers because they're really tiny, and so I can get into some really tight spaces with them. And just, again, a couple of other varieties of pencils and pens and such like that I like to keep over there. And then on this side pouch, I basically keep, see, here's another one of those little rulers that I like to use as the flat edge and such like that. I always end up, I don't take it with me, but let's see if I can put my hands on it quickly. I have one of it's the HP Sprocket, and so I don't usually like to take it with me when I go places, but I usually do like to print off pictures and such of where I've been and such like that, and then finish up my journaling later, just so that I won't have to, I'm just too afraid to bring it along with me. So here's my sister and I when I was on a trip to New York, and this was when I was in the United Kingdom. Yeah, I'm quite a bit behind, but so that stays in this front pocket, as well as some business cards and just random stuff like that. I went over to the ink pad this summer and met Anna and things like that. Here's another one of those black velvet travel brushes in size 8. And I don't really usually keep anything in these smaller pockets up here, but I am starting to like to collect little buttons and such like that to go on top of them. And that's pretty much all that I have inside of my new travel bag, or I should say the bag itself, it's new. I think I've added this new since I last filmed the video, but that's pretty much it in this travel bag. And I totally appreciate you guys as always for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.